What if one of the most commonly recommended approaches for staying healthy after 50 is actually leaving you more vulnerable than you realize? Most adults over 50 are following what they genuinely believe is sound advice. They maintain regular walking habits. They steer clear of challenging or potentially risky exercises. They're mindful about protecting their joints. And superficially, that approach seems sensible. But here's the critical information nobody shares with you. Research published in the Journal of Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy reveals that nearly 68% of chronic lower back pain cases in adults over 50 are directly connected to weakened or underactive glute muscles. Not the aging process itself, not general wear and tear, but muscles that have been gradually neglected over time. And this extends far beyond back pain. The American Council on Exercise reports that falls represent the leading cause of injury-related hospitalizations in adults over 65, and one of the most reliable predictors of falls: insufficient hip and glute strength. Not diminished reflexes, not declining vision, but weakened muscles surrounding the hips. Let that information settle for a moment. You can exercise caution every single day and still be inadvertently training your body to fail you during critical moments. Now, let me be absolutely clear. This video isn't about placing blame. It's not about criticizing medical professionals, physical therapists, or well-intentioned guidance. Walking provides benefits. Stretching provides benefits. Being cautious provides benefits. But what if these practices represent only maintenance, not true protection? What if the very routines intended to keep you safe are quietly permitting your most powerful muscles, the glutes, to deactivate year after year? Before we go further, if you're serious about protecting your strength and independence after 50, do me a favor. Hit that like button right now. It helps this message reach more people who need it. And drop a comment below telling me, what's your biggest concern about staying strong as you age? I read every single one. Here's another fact most people never encounter. A longitudinal study from the University of Colorado discovered that adults with stronger glute muscles maintained a resting metabolic rate 12% higher than those with weak glutes, even beyond age 50. That translates to superior blood sugar regulation, enhanced energy levels, and more effective weight management without extreme workout protocols. Yet glute training is frequently avoided due to misunderstanding. Some perceive it as purely aesthetic, some consider it dangerous, some believe it's too late to make a difference. But strength doesn't come with an expiration date. If you're watching this, it indicates you value maintaining independence, rising from a chair without discomfort, walking with confidence, living your life without constantly calculating risk. This video was created specifically for you. Not to instill fear, not to push you beyond reasonable limits, but to demonstrate with legitimate science, accessible movements, and respect for your body that building strength after 50 isn't merely possible, it's absolutely essential. In the coming minutes, I'll present 5 carefully selected exercises designed specifically for the 50-plus body. Exercises that physical therapists, movement scientists, and senior wellness specialists trust. And if this message resonates with you, if you believe aging should bring wisdom without weakness, take a moment to share this video with someone you care about, because strength at this life stage isn't about appearing younger. It's about remaining yourself. The walking myth: why safe isn't always enough. For decades, people over 50 have received identical advice: just keep walking. It's the safest and most beneficial exercise available, and superficially, that reasoning sounds valid. Walking is low impact. It's accessible. It promotes movement. But here's the truth rarely discussed. Walking alone might be safe, but it's insufficient. A 2019 investigation from the University of Waterloo discovered that walking activates only approximately 32% of the gluteus maximus, the largest and most powerful muscle in your body. Let that statistic register for a moment. 2/3 of your glute strength remains unutilized. What's more concerning, as we age, we naturally lose 1 to 2% of muscle mass annually, according to the National Institutes of Health. And if walking represents our only physical activity, we're maintaining some motion, but not resisting the slow, silent deterioration. Here's the concealed risk. Weak glutes lead to poor hip support. Poor hip support creates increased pressure on your knees and lower back. That pressure results in chronic pain, instability, and elevated fall risk. And by the time pain manifests, the damage may already be established. But here's the empowering perspective shift. What if walking served as merely your foundation, your warm-up, rather than the complete picture? What if incorporating just a few targeted strengthening exercises could reverse the weakness patterns that walking alone cannot address? What you're about to discover are 5 essential glute-focused movements specially selected for adults over 50, all grounded in physical therapy principles, scientific evidence, joint-safe mechanics, and real-life functionality. So instead of simply doing more of what feels safe, what if you pursued what's actually smarter? Let's examine the top 5 exercises to rebuild glute strength safely and effectively from the foundation upward. We'll begin at number 5 and progress to the most overlooked yet powerful one of all. Exercise 5. Step-ups. The real-life strength assessment. You didn't realize you needed isn't stepping up, just walking with a slight elevation? That's what many people assume, and it sounds harmless enough. But this single movement reveals more about your glute strength, joint stability, and fall risk than almost any other assessment. Consider this: climbing stairs, stepping onto a curb, entering a vehicle. These aren't gym activities. They're daily evaluations of your capacity to elevate your own body with one leg at a time. Yet most walking routines never challenge this pattern. Step-ups engage the gluteus maximus, gluteus medius, and the stabilizer muscles of your core and hips, particularly when you work one leg independently. That's critical for balance, joint protection, and stair climbing strength. But here's the essential detail. The effort should originate from the lead leg, not momentum or pushing off the back foot. When executed properly, step-ups reactivate dormant glutes, improving not just muscle mass, but neuromuscular control, your brain's ability to locate and activate the correct muscles in the proper sequence. A 2021 investigation from the University of Florida found that after just 6 weeks of step-up training, adults over 60 improved their single-leg strength by 27% and stair stability by 33% without heavy weights. Avoiding step-up type movements because they feel challenging or unstable might seem cautious. But over time, this leads to muscle imbalance, reduced proprioception, and dependence on handrails or assistance for basic tasks like navigating stairs. The safe implementation for adults over 50: use a low platform, 6 to 12 inches. Place the entire foot on the step. Use a chair or wall for balance support. Focus on pressing through the heel and squeezing the glute at the top. Even 2 to 3 sets of 8 reps per side twice weekly can begin rebuilding your strength. What feels challenging today becomes freedom tomorrow. Ready for number 4? This next movement looks simple, but it quietly targets one of the most important stabilizers in your entire body. Exercise 4. Glute kickbacks, the small movement that keeps you standing tall. It's just a minor leg lift. How effective can that possibly be? It appears simple, perhaps too simple. Consequently, most people over 50 either skip it entirely or perform it without proper intention. But don't be deceived by how modest it appears. This controlled, deliberate motion trains one of the most crucial muscle functions you need after 50: the ability to extend your hip without engaging your back. And that's a capability many people lose without even recognizing it. The gluteus maximus serves as your primary hip extensor. It's the powerhouse that enables you to walk, rise from a chair, and climb stairs. But when it weakens, and it does silently over time, other muscles like your lower back or hamstrings begin compensating. That leads to compensation patterns, increased spinal pressure, and eventually pain. Kickbacks performed correctly retrain your brain to activate the appropriate muscle, restoring strength and stability at the source. A study published in the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy demonstrated that targeted glute activation, including kickbacks, improved gait confidence, balance, and hip control in older adults after just 4 weeks. That's correct. Just 4 weeks of focused training produced real-world changes in how people walked and stood. When the glutes are weak, every step draws from the lower back. Over time, this establishes a pattern of pelvic drop, knee pain, and poor posture, often wrongly attributed to aging. It's not age, it's neglect. The safer approach for adults over 50: stand tall behind a sturdy chair, lightly hold the back for balance, lift one leg straight back, maintaining spine neutrality, avoid arching your lower back. Hold at the top for 1 to 2 seconds while squeezing the glute. Slowly return, repeat. 10 to 12 reps per leg, 2 to 3 sets. Even without added weight, you'll experience a focused activation in the right location. Your glutes, not your back. You're not just lifting a leg, you're lifting your strength back to where it belongs. If you're finding value in these exercises, take a second to show your support. Like this video so more people can discover these crucial movements, and subscribe to the channel for more strength-building content designed specifically for adults over 50. Your future self will thank you. Up next is number 3, the single most underrated exercise in senior fitness, and you can perform it lying down. Exercise 3, glute bridge, the most powerful movement you can do. Lying down, lying on the floor doesn't resemble exercise. We often believe that genuine strength requires equipment, weights, or intense exertion. But what if one of the most powerful exercises for your spine, hips, and balance could be accomplished simply by lying down? Welcome to the glute bridge, a movement that appears gentle but speaks directly to the muscles that hold your body upright. When performed correctly, the glute bridge isolates and activates the gluteus maximus, with minimal assistance from the hamstrings or lower back. It creates a safe environment to build posterior chain strength, the muscles responsible for standing, walking, and lifting without pain. Even more importantly, it reprograms your nervous system to fire the glutes first, rather than relying on your lower back. This brain-to-muscle connection proves critical, especially as we age when neuromuscular control tends to decline. In an 8-week clinical trial published in the Journal of Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy, participants over 55 who consistently performed glute bridges and core-stabilizing exercises reduced chronic lower back pain by 42% and improved mobility scores by over 35%. Not from surgery, not from medication, from movement. Most people unknowingly arch their back during this exercise, shifting pressure to the spine and missing the glutes entirely. This not only diminishes the exercise's effectiveness, it can actually cause additional pain. The safer approach for adults over 50: lie on a mat or firm surface, bend knees, feet flat, hip width apart, keep your arms relaxed at your sides. As you lift your hips, imagine pulling from your glutes, not your back. Only lift until your hips align with your shoulders and knees. No excessive arching pause, and squeeze the glutes at the top for 2 to 3 seconds. Lower slowly, repeat 12 to 15 reps, 2 to 3 sets. Optional: place a pillow between your knees to assist with form and alignment. Sometimes the most powerful action you can take is reconnecting with muscles your body has forgotten. Get ready. Number 2 is a movement you can perform while sitting, but it trains muscles you rely on every time you take a step. Exercise 2. Seated band abduction, the invisible muscle that protects every step you take. How much can sitting and pressing your knees apart really accomplish? It doesn't appear particularly impressive. You're just sitting in a chair with a band around your legs, moving minimally. But don't let the simplicity mislead you. This small movement targets the gluteus medius and minimus, two muscles that rarely receive attention until it's too late. These are the lateral glutes, the muscles that stabilize your pelvis every time you stand, walk, or shift your weight onto one leg. When these muscles are weak, as they often become after age 50, your hips wobble with each step. This doesn't just appear unstable, it creates genuine structural problems. The gluteus medius functions like a lateral anchor, keeping your pelvis level, your knees tracking straight, and your spine aligned. Without it, your body begins to collapse inward, which can cause hip pain, knee strain, and dramatically increase your fall risk. A study in aging and balance research found that hip abduction strength was the #1 predictor of full recovery ability in adults over 65. In other words, if you compress your knees outward with control, you're far more likely to catch yourself during a trip or slip and avoid serious injury. You may feel like you're walking fine until your body compensates. That's when the problems cascade. Knee pain that persists, one leg feels weaker, your gait shifts leading to imbalance and fatigue. The safe approach for adults over 50: sit on a firm chair, place a light resistance band around your legs just above the knees, keep feet flat and knees hip-width apart, gently press knees outward, hold 1-2 seconds at the widest point. Slowly return and repeat 12 to 15 reps, 2 to 3 sets. Tip: don't rush. The slower you move, the deeper the muscles work. You don't need to move more. You just need to activate smarter. Coming up next is #1. The exercise most people assume is too advanced, but when performed correctly, it might be the single best strength builder for older adults. Exercise 1. Bulgarian split squat. The most underrated glute movement for adults over 50. Isn't that an advanced gym exercise for athletes? That's the common perception. It looks challenging, it sounds intimidating, and it's rarely suggested to older adults, which is unfortunate because when scaled appropriately, the Bulgarian split squat might be the most powerful functional movement you can perform for your glutes, hips, and knees, especially after 50. This exercise forces your gluteus maximus and gluteus medius to activate under control while simultaneously challenging your balance, core stability, and proprioception, your body's ability to sense where it is in space. That combination is invaluable for real-world strength. It mimics how we naturally move, one leg at a time, shifting weight, stabilizing from the hip. Exactly what you do when walking, turning, reaching, or preventing a fall. It also stretches the hip flexors, which tend to tighten with age, and prolonged sitting, restoring range of motion and reducing stiffness. Physical therapy specialists who work with older adult rehabilitation consistently identify Bulgarian split squats as among the most effective movements for glute reactivation and gait correction. In clinical practice, they use it to restore symmetry and stability in patients recovering from hip and pelvic dysfunction. Why? Because it works. Avoiding this movement because it appears difficult often means never training your body to handle real-world imbalance, and that leads to uneven gait, joint overload on one side, increased fall risk, and accelerated strength loss in the weaker leg. The safe approach for adults over 50: stand about 2 feet in front of a low bench or chair. Place one foot behind you, resting the top of your foot on the chair. Use another chair or wall for balance. Slowly bend the front knee, lowering until your thigh is parallel or to comfortable range. Keep chest lifted. Don't let the front knee collapse inward. Press through the front heel to rise. Start with 6 to 8 reps per leg, 2 to 3 sets, body weight only. Tip: shorten the range and hold a sturdy support if you're new. Depth is less important than control. You don't have to move fast, you just have to move with intention. This isn't about pushing limits, it's about reclaiming strength, one leg, one step, one decision at a time. Your next chapter begins with movement. So let's take a moment to reflect. What you just learned weren't trending fitness movements. They were foundation builders. Exercises designed not just to make you stronger, but to help you move better, stand taller, and live with more ease regardless of your age. You don't need to pursue perfection. You don't need to lift heavy weights or follow complicated routines. And you absolutely don't need to compare yourself to anyone else. What you need is to begin with what your body needs. Because after 50, the parameters change. Your body communicates differently. And now more than ever, it rewards consistency over intensity and precision over pressure. You've spent decades showing up for others, your family, your community, your work. But your health? That's the one investment that returns more time, more energy, and more freedom. Not someday. Not if I had started earlier. Now. And it's not too late. Because science demonstrates that even in your 50s, 60s, and 70s, you can rebuild lost muscle, restore movement patterns, and prevent pain, often faster than you think. Not by doing more, but by doing what matters. Glute strength isn't just about posture or performance. It's about independence. It's about confidence. It's about saying, I trust my body again. So whether you perform all 5 exercises today or just one, know that every repetition is a message to your future self. I've got your back. Literally. You don't have to rush. You just have to keep going. If this video provided you with new insight, please hit that like button. Not just for me, but so this message reaches more people who need it. Drop a comment below telling me which exercise surprised you the most, or share your story because someone else reading it might find their reason to start. And if you're ready for more movement, more strength, and more empowerment, subscribe to the channel because we're just getting started. Your next chapter doesn't begin with a doctor's appointment. It begins when you decide to move and believe in what your body can still become.